welcome to the Sports Bar and talkSPORT. Jamie O'Hara, him over there, Jason Cundy.
Does anyone say Liverpool? Can you hear me, Liverpool? You must have one hell of a beating Arne. Slot, can you hear me, slot master? You must have one hell of a beating Van Dijk twerking. The Beatles, the Lima Bird, 100% vote, 100% vote. Can you hear me, 100% vote? You must have one hell of a beat. The Royal Albert, not Ryan, the producer, Alex Arne. Yes, and you play the Sonia, the Cavern Club, the Coutinho money. Can you hear me, Coutinho money? You must have one hell of a beating Jermaine Penn. Liverpool Line Street Station, you'll never walk. Hello. Jamie Carragher, can you hear me, Carragher? You must have one hell of a beating the miracle of Istanbul. 400 million spread the sun. 400 million spent somewhere in that out of your favour. LeBron James, can you hear me, Liverpool? You almost took one hell of a beating.
Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Liverpool, they've bottled it in the final stages against Wolves. Another flat performance. What's going on there? Absolutely shocking. Arne Slot is giving it about set pieces this week, but they're right up there with the most boring teams in the league themselves. 03 717 22 33 44. Rob Edwards, Wolves. They're looking all right. Elsewhere, Everton. They're flying. They play better football than Liverpool. They're playing the best football I've seen in a while. Sunderland back on track as well. Huge win for them. Leeds fans, bit worried. Still not great. Loads to go at in the Premier League. Can have your say. Big talking points, as always. Sports Bar 03 717 22 33 44. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
How are you?
Oh, mate, on top of the world. On top of the world.
Good
What was
result
that?
for Chelsea.
What on earth? Forget Chelsea at the minute. What on earth was that? Liverpool churn out some put, mate. They are terrible. They are a terrible team. And on this Slot has got the gall to criticise Arsenal. And he turns out that tripe. Honestly, they are. I thought Wolves were the best, played the better football.
Wolves are good.
Wolves are good. They deserve that tonight.
Yeah, Wolves
Liverpool.
are decent.
What has happened to it? It's Slot? This is his team now, right?
Yeah.
What's happened to the best football I've seen, not just in the Premier League, but under Klopp? That was a team you could watch, even if you didn't support Liverpool.
Yeah,
this Liverpool team, mate,
Yeah,
bore you to tears. They're dull. I don't know what's going on. They are terrible, mate. They are truly terrible. And they got what they deserved. And Slot criticising, saying it's not his idea of football. Is that his idea of football? He has got some front him, turning out that crap.
Do you think he needs to be quiet?
Well,
Comments.
Do you know what? If you're going to come out with comments like that, right? Arsenal going to win the title. It feels a little bit bitter, a little bit salty, right? Because Arsenal getting it right. If you're going to come out and criticise or answer a question that's direct to you about criticising or having a bit of a sideward swipe at another team, and the next game, your team serves up that. Wow. Honestly, Liverpool fan. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would be fuming because that was crap. That was terrible.
Yeah, it really was. Let's go straight to some calls. Go to Theo, who's a Liverpool fan. Theo.
You all right, guys?
What happened?
Well, for starters, Wolves had 12 players because Cody Gakpo was being a great defender for them.
Right.
My God. I mean, clearing the ball away from Curtis Jones when Curtis Jones was about to score, it kind of just tells you all you need to know, really. Yeah, bring the violin out, why don't you?
Theo, you're garbage.
We were awful. I mean, we played arguably one of the worst teams in Premier League history, and you couldn't tell which one was the worst one.
Well, Wolves were better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have to say which team is bottom, he brought an alien down, right, from Mars, and he would come down to watch that. They're saying
one of these teams are bottom.
Which team's bottom? Which team is fighting for Champions League football? And it's Liverpool fighting relegation. That pub.
You'd probably say that we're in relegation, really, and honestly, we don't really put in any good performances.
Your passing is terrible. I mean, it's the bit of Salah, the Salah goal is outstanding. He's still got it, but his influence over the 90-minute game is so scarce, so scarce.
I mean, generally, Gakpo and Salah recently have not been anywhere near good enough.
Has Gakpo ever been good enough? Do you know, like, He's an all right player, but he ain't Luis Diaz. He's never going to be Luis Diaz.
It's a downgrade.
Like, come on, he was never good enough.
He had a decent season last season.
He done all right.
That was about like as complimentary as you can get because he scored, I think it was 18 or 19 goals, and Diaz had scored 12 or something.
Do you know what, though, Theo? It's easy to dig out like individuals, right? Of course, you can do that. But as a team, that for me is where they've got massive problems. Like, as a team, you're so dull. Cundy's right. Like, you're boring to watch. You're not like a team that you get excited to watch. I used to love watching Liverpool play.
Dull.
Now it's like
serve up guff.
You know what? It's probably the worst sort of performing team that Liverpool have had in about 10 years. When you think about how we actually perform, even when we had Klopp and it was this sort of heavy metal football, we'd score 5, they'd score 4, and we'd have all these sort of mental games of beating Bournemouth by.
But you didn't have to be a Liverpool fan to appreciate the football, high energy, attack. Slot has he's stripped that all back, and I don't know who you are or what you are now. He's taken all of that away. And last year, there was a bit of it, but not a lot. Now, it's completely gone. You've completely lost that.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, I don't need a lullaby because I can just watch Liverpool games now to go to sleep.
Okay, all right.
It's bad, mate. It's
not good.
Yeah, you're not good. You're not good. Let's go to Rob, who's a Liverpool fan. Rob.
All right, Rob.
All right, boys. By the way, listen all the time. And Cundy, mate, when I first started listening, mate, used to do my head in, but now I love you, mate. I love the banter. I love everything about it. Jamie O'Hara, honestly, lads, quality show.
What's happening, mate? What's happening, Rob? He's gone.
Yeah, right, yeah. I'll give it to you straight, right. So, all the Liverpool supporters, right, I'd say, at first everyone was going, no, you've got to back the manager because we won the league, right? And I get it. And I go, yeah, he's won the league, right? But I'm telling you now, and people aren't talking about this enough, right? Salah, you don't go from being a world-class player, right? Unbelievable. And bearing in mind, yeah, he's getting older, right? Yeah, we're all aware of that. But he's not playing for the manager. I'm telling you now, mate, he is down tools. And this isn't me being like over the top, but you can see it for yourself. His touches are horrendous tonight. You can't. He's playing on merit because of what he's done. He's not getting hooked off the pitch. You've got Chiesa. You ask any Liverpool fan, why is he not starting? Right, it drives everyone insane.
No, good enough, Rob.
It drives me insane, Mike. And I'll tell you now, as you were saying there before, and I've listened to you enough times about saying Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz was unbelievable. Yeah, he was a quality player for us. Yeah, we ain't great at finishing sometimes, but he was better than Gakpo, right? He was a good player, very good player. Right, you got Rio Ingamoa, right? You had Michael Owen, you had Robbie Fowler when they were younger. Yeah, if you're young enough, you're good enough, right? You know what I don't like about our slot? Yeah, it's the fact that he won't play. For some reason, he gets something in his head, and that's it. I'm sticking with this. We're gonna play like this. We're gonna play Gakpo. Every game. I was waiting for this. Every game is the same. Right, tonight to me, you should have started Rio. Right, because Gakpo.
Yeah, he has to start. He has to start.
Jason, the height of stupidity is keep doing the same thing over and over again. Cody Gakpo comes inside, tries to. I'll give him his due. He tried a couple of times tonight to cut and put it in with his left. But usually everyone knows. If I know, you know. Everyone knows he's going to try and shoot.
He's earned the right. You give players chances, and he looks so lively, and he gives you something different.
Rio Ingamoa.
Yeah.
He comes on, I know, and by the way, we're all aware he's young, right? The lad's young, and he's going to make mistakes, right? He's not going to be perfect, but I guarantee, if you asked 100 Liverpool supporters, who would you want to start, they'd go, him. Cody Gakpo played better when he came off the bench. He was more of an impact player.
Yeah.
When Diaz was there, he played better off the bench, right? And I'll tell you something else. Kirkes, right, when he first came, right, this is what's done, again, a lot of people's heads in. You go in the game, you're speaking to everyone, they're all saying the same thing. Why isn't he doing exactly what he did with Andy Robertson? Andy Robertson came from Hull, came to Liverpool, and wasn't great. right? When he first came in, what did Klopp do? He took him out the team for about 3 months, 3 or 4 months, can't remember now.
Yeah.
Brought him back in, and the lad was like a different player. Kirkes, even tonight, how many times did you see? There was a time, it was the first half, and I think it was Gakpo was going, run past me, he's pointing, going, make a run. And he's just stood there again, and you're going, and he has good and bad games, but, well, he's had a lot of bad games. Recently, he's in better form. But to me, what's driving me insane is Salah's playing on merit.
I think we just wonder, Rob, because also there is a point in a player's career that they reach the peak of their powers, and there's the pinnacle, and it feels to me as if Salah is now coming down the other side of that peak. And
yeah.
I mean, I think you can say it's fair to say that Van Dijk has peaked and he's coming down the other side as well. And you've got two of your most influential players that won the title last season that now haven't got that. I mean, the goal, I don't quite know what the first goal. I don't know what Van Dijk's doing. I've got no idea what he's doing for that.
Yeah. But it's too slow. The whole. So we put ourselves in these positions all the time where under Slot, we all right, it happened a little bit with Klopp, but at least it was dynamite. The football was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was dynamite. You were attacking, you were going. This is passing round, boring football.
You're
wasting time. It's you're like, I'm a supporter and I'm sick of it. I am literally sick to the back teeth. And everyone's going, well, do you know what? If he gets Champions League and we get a good cup run and I'm like, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, and that's not me being like over the top. It is not good enough, and to me, it's not. Yeah, Mourinho, but he won a lot of things with Chelsea and different clubs. But people used to say he played boring football, but at least he won. He got the games out and he won games. He tippy taps it round, and even today, the first half, it was horrendous.
I know.
It was horrendous.
Do you know, the game that you played against Forest, but that was that last weekend. Weekend before, right?
Yeah.
That performance in that first half, it's probably the worst performance I've seen in a Liverpool Premier League side in years. I can't remember the years, but, years. And that's now becoming a habit, a pattern. Liverpool do not perform well. When was the last time you come away from games saying, even at the weekend, right? I watched the game live
West Ham,
right, against West Ham.
They've done all right, West Ham.
Yeah.
That scoreline flattered Liverpool. You took your chances, you got lads up top that can finish. But it wasn't a convincing victory, even though the scoreline will tell you.
Yeah. And you even look at that there, Ekitike, right? And by the way, when we signed Isaac, right, and I'll be dead straight with you, I was saying to everyone, and again, a lot of Liverpool supporters were saying the same thing. We don't usually spend that much money. All right, Florian Wirtz this season, all right, it's a bit of a one-off, but Isaac to get him as well. You're going to yourself, hold on, we don't buy players like that, and I couldn't get my head around it. He's always injured. Buy Ekitike, right? Buying Ekitike, and you're going, the lad's unbelievable. I think he's class, right? I honestly think he's class. And tonight, he's getting no service. He's getting zero service. And if you just imagine, say for instance, if he was playing when, all right, I know it's a big ask, but say if he was there when Mane was there and Salah was gone.
Oh, yeah, I can.
All I'm saying is he's not getting
loved it under Klopp. Ekitike would have loved it under Klopp.
Yeah, he's a top player, but I'm sorry, for me, and a lot of Liverpool supporters, it was really mixed, and people used to get a bad comment. Same with Trent. You could never say anything bad about Trent before he went. You were not allowed to. I used to say all the time, he's shocking at defending. Yeah, wonderful foot, but horrendous. You said that to a Liverpool supporter. They'd absolutely go off their heads, and you go, oh, I just can't get my head around it. I'm like, sometimes they'd see what they want to see, and they want to back the manager. But I'm going, he is not good enough. And I don't get what's going on with the board, because I'm thinking, if you back him next season, even if, say, for instance, you bring someone else in on the left, and Cody Gakpo goes and you bring someone else in, but it's still going to be the same boring football in midfield.
Would you get rid of him, Rob? Would you get rid of him?
Yeah, and do you know what? Honestly, 100%, I would. And I know people go about Alonso, or is it Nagelsmann is he the manager of Germany? There's managers out there. Everyone gets hung up and goes, it's Alonso. I'm not saying it has to be Alonso, but I just don't like what my eyes see right now.
Yep.
And I don't think you go from being, lads, you have played, and you don't go from being, Salah doesn't go from being that good. And I do think he'll go in the summer. I think we've got to sell him because we need to make money back on him. And I think that's why he signed that contract, to be honest with you.
It does feel as though there's a
Rob,
big,
listen, thanks for your call, mate.
Good call, Rob. It does feel as though there's a big rebuild coming. I know that they spent a lot of money in the summer, but there are holes in
Rebuild?
Yeah, I do.
What do you mean?
Well, they just signed the boy Jacquet, right? From is it Rennes or Long, out in France?
Rebuild? They've got a new team.
They haven't got a new team, have they?
Well, they have.
Salah's going to go. They're going to bring in another centre off. Probably Gakpo's going to go. You know, that's three straight away that you're probably going to replace.
I kind of rebuild it like this.
Well, that was part of it. That team.
Okay.
Okay, that team that we saw tonight at the moment is nowhere near good enough to win the title.
No,
Right,
it's
so
nowhere near good enough.
So they're
going to
have to spend.
But is that because of the players or is that because of the manager?
I think a mixture of both. I think it does feel to me as if Salah and Van Dijk in particular have reached the top of the hill. They peaked. You're not going to get any better at that age. You might maintain levels, which Salah did last year, but it does feel that he is now on the way. It's not a rapid decline, but in the Premier League, it doesn't need much. You know, if you lose a yard in the Premier League and you relied on that pace, that your game can change dramatically.
Yeah, massively. Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, get your calls in. Liverpool fans want to hear from you. Premier League results as well tonight. Not looking good at Liverpool Football Club, though. 03 717 22 33 44.